on that level. I'm like, Dumb and Dumber is like one of my all-time favorites. Do I think
Comedy's
it's an?
another
I don't
level,
think it's
though.
a. Yeah, I don't think it's a 9+. I mean, for comedy level, I think Dumb and Dumber is a staple. I think.
What would be your favorite Jim Carrey movie?
Dumb and Dumber.
Really?
Easy. Yeah. I'm not. And the thing is, I'm not a huge Jim Carrey fan.
Oh, he's one of my favorites.
I know. I love early Jim Carrey, and then he just watched
He's a strange guy. Have you
He's
kept
so-
up with him at all?
not recently.
He,
After a scandal with his ex, and she ended up committing suicide and blaming it on him. I was like,
So he became weird after that, which,
Yeah.
by the way, is a weird story. Not a lot of people know that. Yeah, she killed herself and left a suicide note pretty much saying that it was his fault. That
Right.
she,
because
and,
she got herpes.
Is that what it was?
That was one of the main reasons. I'm like, because you
All I
got
know-
herpes, you killed yourself.
But all I know, I think it was deeper than that. I think that it was she had blamed him for stuff. All I know is he started acting weird. He stopped doing comedies and started being in a serious like role.
Yeah.
And I saw an interview with him. He had really grown his beard out really big, and he was just awkward. And he was referring to himself as a character, and he was just saying, "I had fun as Jim Carrey." Like it was weird. He was acting as if Jim Carrey was an actor.
Right.
And I'm like, damn, this suicide really
Right.
like hit a toll on him.
Yeah.
And his daughter is a really pretty girl. She was actually on American Idol, and she's a
I
singer.
didn't know that. I did
Yeah,
not
and
know
I
that.
thought this is another. And I'm really into him, so I kind of follow this stuff. He had a daughter that was on American Idol, and he could have like paid for all this stuff for her, but that's the kind of person that he is as a father. Is he wanted her to earn it and to like try to like get her name out there and grow her own popularity. So he pretty much had her audition for American Idol, and she was good enough to make it. And she didn't make it too far in the show. She made it like past the first few rounds. So she made it to where there's a live crowd and stuff, and got cut. But I thought like, man, what a cool guy. But yeah, I think that suicide really messed with him because he started getting all spiritual. And when you see him in interviews to this day, he's kind of like wide eyed. And he's like, well, we're all on this journey of life. And that's kind of how he is.
That was great.
And we all just want to be better people.
You say.
You say. The mask.
Like a glove.
Yeah. But I love that guy. When I was a kid, I wanted to be just like him because his energy. And I grew up in a really sad
You wanted to
home.
imitate everything. Sorry.
But no. It's exactly what it was. I really enjoyed the way his movies made me feel. There's a scene in Ace Ventura, the original one, not When Nature Calls, Pet Detective.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking to the girl from Friends. She was also in Pet Detective. Courtney Cox, is that her name? And he's telling the story, and the scene gets really like emotional when he's telling a story about how a dog bit him when he's a kid. Do you remember the scene?
Yes.
He's like, yeah, and the dog came up on me, and in my dream, he just kept biting me. And then I woke up, and check this out. And he pulls his collar down, and when she goes to look at it, he's like, and he goes, sorry. And she goes, it's okay. And like the movie just continues. And as a kid, I thought that was so funny. I was like, what? He was just so like, why did he do that? And so I kind of act like that
Right,
now.
right.
And so I was like, I drew a lot of energy from him. I just liked the way he was. And as a kid who grew up in a bad home that didn't have a lot of joy, when I watched his movies, I was like, that's how I learned joy in a really bad home where I didn't have a good role model. Not that Jim Carrey is the best role model,
Right.
but I remember watching his movies and thinking like, I'll do what he does because it brings me joy to watch him act dumb. Maybe it'll bring someone else joy.
Right.
And that's how I learned joy in like a bad home.
Yeah. No. I love that. And
That's why I like Jim Carrey.
Yeah. No. That's awesome, and that makes. And you know what's funny is I think Jim Carrey's such a staple for. I mean, I don't want to say millennials, like us growing up watching him, and their movies I don't think were made for us as kids. I mean, I know we're like this about the same age, and in the 90s, but we wanted to imitate everything he was doing, you know, and I feel like he's one of those people. And what did he do growing up to be a comedian? He would stare himself in the mirror and make himself laugh and you know, try to pull as many jokes as he could to himself, you know what I mean? And it's funny that, you know, you kind of mirror what he does.
And that's probably why he's so animated in the face. Like he's very face animated. But I actually learned that from him, like the whole look at yourself in the mirror thing.
Yeah.
It's, do you have anxiety at all, or do you know anyone who does?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Okay, so I have really bad anxiety, and it's a lot better as an adult. I like to think that the anxiety is the same. I'm just better at dealing with it. But there was a thing where I would struggle a lot with like being able to accept certain things and deal with it. And I was a little bit social awkward, which is kind of hard to tell because I do very well socially now. And I remember seeing this thing with him where he would do the thing in the mirror, and so that's how I would make myself laugh. Also, when I was crying, when I used to cry, when something happened, like someone would pass away or something, I would go to the mirror
and look at yourself cry.
And I looked so ridiculous it would make me laugh.
Right.
And
I mean, I don't know if I would do that to laugh, but I used to go look at myself and like be like, "You're so pathetic." Like, look
really?
at like,
Jesus.
I don't know how dark and deep I was getting, but I go look at myself in the mirror crying. I'm like, man, that's horrible. You should probably stop. Like,
you do look bad when you cry.
Yeah.
Not you. I've never seen you cry, but like
in
most
general,
people.
yeah.
It's weird if you look good crying, then like that's not a good talent. But it would make me laugh because I look so ridiculous. When you cry, you kind of let go, which is good. I'm not telling anyone to not cry, but I would go to the mirror and look at myself cry, and it would make me laugh, and I would find joy in like a really, really dark moment.
Mm-hmm.
And so I used to do that a lot, but I learned that from Jim Carrey too.
Yeah.
Hey there, subscribers. What do I gotta do to get subscriptions by you? Will you subscribe? It's down below. Hit the red button. No, no, no.